Sunrise. Coming up, energy analysts cite technical failures, underinvestment in Ghana's power distribution for grid faults that triggered nationwide blackout.
Most of the time, we try to shield responsibility to investment, but I also believe there's a technical bit of it.
And financial economist urges government to turn economic stability into jobs, focusing on youth employment as unemployment remains high.
The complaint that the growth numbers are not reflected in the average Ghanaian is real, and I think government needs to look at them.
Plus, Bank of Ghana explains unanimous monetary policy committee vote in holding policy rate at 14%. I am Michael Obodu. Details of these and many other stories lined up for you. Do stay tuned. Thank you so much for your time. Straight into our top story. Now, yesterday, Ghana experienced nationwide power cuts. Energy sector watchers blamed the incident on both technical challenges and years of underinvestment in the distribution system. The faults triggered widespread outages that affected homes and businesses nationwide.
Ghana experienced nationwide power outages in the early hours of Wednesday following a major fault on the national power grid. According to the Ghana Grid Company Limited GridCo, several power plants across the country were forced to shut down. Executive Director of Africa Sustainable Energy Center, ISEC, Engineer Justice Ohene Akutu blames the lack of technical foresight.
Most of the time, we try to shield responsibility to investment, but I also believe there's a technical bit of it. But then from a subject matter expert point of view, when you see a system collapse completely, most of the time it will be as a result of the frequency. When we go above or below our threshold, that is when you usually get like a total system collapse.
Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, SEMSE, Benjamin Insia, observes years of lack of infrastructure prioritization.
The lack of infrastructure support for the company is the reason why we are experiencing this particular challenge. Surprisingly, GridCo could not even determine what actually caused this challenge in its initial stage. We've realized that they are resolving it, but it is likely going to happen again if you don't put the necessary resources or allocating necessary capital resources to revamp and revitalize this particular infrastructure for reliable power supply.
Engineer Ohene Akutu urges GridCo to tell the nation what actually happened, come up with a backup plan to make the system resilient, and explain what lessons have been learned from previous grid collapses.
To give us a roadmap that from today, if there's any, what are they going to do to have a preventive maintenance? Most of the time, we are reactional. To have a preventive maintenance to make sure we don't have a system collapse again. And even if it should happen, what is the measures to give us just a restoration plan within seconds or minutes?
The power cut has left homes, businesses, and essential services without electricity across multiple regions of the country.
Now, away from that, the government of Ghana has been urged to convert economic stability into real jobs for its youth. Financial economist Dr. Eric Boakye-Yadom says while unemployment has edged up, the process is too slow.
Current unemployment levels sit between 12.8% from 13.7%. That represents only 1.2% reduction over nearly 2 years. Dr. Boakye-Yadom urges the decline is not sufficient to lift the majority of Ghanaians into decent work. He is calling on government to use the current period of stability to drive a transformative agenda focused on job creation.
If we look at the unemployment figures specifically into youth unemployment, it's so high. The last GSS report tells us that in Accra alone, youth unemployment sits around 49%. And actually, it tells also that the youth unemployment in 2024, which was 32%, is sitting around about 32.5 currently, which marginally has gone up.
Young Ghanaians aged between 15 to 24 are facing a double burden of unemployment and high living cost Expert says the age bracket covers many recent school leavers who are now entering the job market and seeking independence. But with decent job scarcity, even basic accommodation remains out of reach.
You are going to pay utility bills. The average salary of a first degree person sits around about 2,000 or maximum 2,500. By the time you take out your rent, you take out your utility bills, your daily upkeep in food and transport is not part. The money is finished. So when they complain that the growth numbers are not reflected in the average Ghanaian, it's real. And I think government need to look at them.
You heard the financial economics Dr. Eric Boakye-Yadom ending that report. Now, the Bank of Ghana has revealed the Monetary Policy Committee unanimously voted to maintain the policy rate at 14%, with all 7 members led by Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama. Overall, the committee cited persistent inflation risk and heightened global uncertainty as reasons for keeping borrowing costs unchanged despite improving macroeconomic conditions. This report has more.
According to the minutes, members agreed that while Ghana's macroeconomic indicators continue to improve, the recent increase in headline and core inflation, coupled with external risks, warrants a cautious policy approach. The committee noted that easing monetary policy too soon could undermine progress in restoring price stability and fuel inflation expectations, while raising rates could weaken credit growth and slow the pace of economic recovery. Members therefore adopted what they described as a wait-and-see approach, choosing to monitor incoming inflation data and developments in the global economy before considering any policy adjustment. The MPC had earlier announced that uncertainty surrounding the inflation outlook and geopolitical tensions in the Middle East informed its decision to leave the benchmark policy rate unchanged at 14%.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report. We'll bring you updates now from the currency and the commodities market.
Interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis, 66 pesos. It recorded no change. The British pound is selling at 15 cedis, 49 pesos. It lost 3 pesos. The euro is selling at 13 cedis, 27 pesos. It also lost 3 pesos. However, be guided that these figures could be higher at a forex bureau near you. The global commodities market, Brent crude is trading at $90.62 per barrel. Gold is trading at $4,050, 83 cents per ounce, up by $21.22. Cocoa is trading at $5,185 per ton, down by $16.
And those were updates from the currency and the commodities market, bringing an end to the business news on Sunrise. For more stories, please check out our website. It's 3news.com/business. I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for tuning in. As always, please stay safe.